Hello, I'm here in Fremantle as part of our Meet the Author Live in Western Australia. And do you know, I just happened upon these two. They're actually both Melbournians, and they happen to be in Fremantle the same time as me. I'm talking with Susannah McFarlane and Robin Leuba. It's mother and daughter, as you can see the resemblance. I mean, I think you two look very much alike. But it's mother and daughter that have found each other very, very recently. They've written a memoir, a really beautiful, heart-wrenching, heartfelt memoir called Heartlines. Hello, Susannah. Hello, Robin.
Hello, Cheryl.
Okay, so tell me how you two got together, how mother and daughter finally got together after all these years.
Oh gosh, well you need a whole book for that.
You do need the book.
So Heartlines, the subtitle is The Year I Met My Other Mother, and it is after 50 years apart. Robin gave me up for adoption at birth. She never saw me, and she didn't see me again until 49 years later. So Heartlines is the story of that year when we met. It's not just an adoption reunion. It is an adoption reunion with all the kind of unique bruises and bumps that came with it, but actually it's ultimately a book of love and forgiveness and how you fix a relationship or a heartline that's completely torn and how you put it back together. And that was the interest for us in writing the book, to actually, I suppose, reveal our messiness, because the messiness is in everyone, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I'm in Fremantle in Western Australia. I'm talking to Robin Leuba and Susannah McFarlane, who found each other very recently, mother and daughter. If you have any questions for these lovely ladies or a comment, we've just had a hello from Ida. So say hi back. I just want you to talk to our Better Reading readers about your story. Incredibly beautiful love story. It's emotional and it's happy, but none of that comes easy, does it?
That's right. No, it took a long time. It took 50 years to get it together. Robin and I separated at my birth in 1989 when the adoption laws changed. Robin contacted me, and Cheryl, I didn't know what to do with two mothers. I was adopted by a beautiful family and loved, so when Robin came, I couldn't meet her as a friend and I couldn't meet her as a mother, so in politely as I could, I declined contact. Robin wrote me a beautiful letter, which is in the book. The book is actually filled with our letters and texts and emails. It really is like reading other people's mail. I just said, I don't know what to do with you, I'm sorry, could we not meet? Robin sent a beautiful letter saying, just think of me as thinking nice thoughts for you, which she did for another 23 years.
That's right.
Were you yearning at that point, Robin? Were you thinking, I wish you would see me, or you were prepared to accept that?
I did feel rejected when I got that letter. I was sad, I was disappointed.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I knew, it's all right, but I knew it was absolutely valid what she was saying, you know, and I didn't want to put any burden of responsibility on her because she didn't owe me anything. So I did accept it, but I was a bit sad.
And then what happened from there?
Nothing for 23 years. To be honest, there were a few tugs when I had my own children. That obviously takes you back, you know, when your children are born. You thought,
and knowing that she was right there, and that she
I must admit, she had her address on her letter, and a few times I did with dark sunglasses drive down the street. I think I was expecting pod people to come out, you know, and to someone exactly like me, but I never followed it up. And then my mother died in 2011, and I think in a way that made it possible. When I got the letter in 1989 saying my birth mother wanted to meet me, I saw my mum's face and I knew I wasn't going to risk the mother that stayed for the mother that left. So with losing mum, I think something opened and allowed me to meet Robin, and then I could actually meet her as a mother. So maybe I have, you know, issues, definitional issues. And so I wrote a better letter than the one I wrote as a 23-year-old.
Dion is saying, wow, awesome story. It really is an awesome story. Okay, so then when did you finally reconnect?
So we reconnected. I wrote a letter in September, and in October 2014, and in October, after something like 170 emails, which both did our heads in, and again, for better or for worse, they're in the book, we met. You meet with a caseworker. See, Cheryl, I didn't even realise we'd turned into a case along the way. Normally the meeting's supposed to go for about an hour, and ours went for 8 hours. So it really is this kind of crazy connection of I don't know. See, it's funny you say we look like each other. Like you look into the eyes of someone who finally looks like you.
Hey, readers, do you think they look alike? I think they do. Now, for those of you that have just joined, we're here with Susannah McFarlane and Robin Leuba, and we're talking about the reconnection of mother and daughter after years of separation through adoption. Grace asked a question: why did you want to write this book?
I'm a writer and a publisher, and the power of story to connect with people sounds kind of funny. So we had a story that I thought we'd learned a lot through it, and if we could share that, particularly with other people who'd been adopted, but actually anyone who's got a broken relationship. I got a beautiful message from someone who'd read it that said, after I read it, I cried and then I called my mother, who I'd had a fight with.
Yeah, beautiful.
So it's about kind of restoration and stories. I mean, you know that, Cheryl.
Yeah.
That's what stories do. So if, you know, we'd always said if one person had a go at fixing a relationship as a result of the book, then we'd be happy. So
Tina asks, how did you find each other?
It was really easy to find. You know, you watch Long Lost Family and they go on years of questing. I could have just looked her up on the white pages.
Yeah,
It
wow.
was, the finding wasn't the hard bit, the staying together and building a relationship was hard.
Okay, Kylie says, amazing story, most definitely, very much so. These are all our readers talking to
wow.
other and talking to you. So happy you two found each other, Deanna says.
Oh,
Family resemblance. This is Tedland. Family resemblance. I reconnected with my daughter and her mum 26 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Such an emotional, heartbreaking experience. So it's been recent, but you, and I know it's been difficult, but you're here in Fremantle.
Yes.
Tell us why you're here, because it looks like you two are just two chicks hanging out. You know,
Well, that's
having
right.
great fun.
We are really good friends.
Yeah.
Well, because I actually was born in West Australia, in the country,
Yeah.
and grew up in Perth, so really, and around Freo. So I'm a West Australian originally, but I've
So
been
she
in
knows how
Melbourne
to say
for
Freo.
years.
Yeah.
I say that very easily. And I just suddenly wanted to do, it's like closing the circle a bit, come back to where the beginnings were, bring Susannah with me, so she knitted in a bit to that time or when I got pregnant, and just seemed a lovely sort of trip to tie the past in a bit, the history in with her.
Yeah. Miriam says, thank you so much for sharing. Big hugs.
Oh, thanks, Mary.
How have you developed your relationship? I think that's a really good question. That's Deanna. I mean, how has that happened? Is it a friendship relationship, or is it a mother and daughter relationship, or is that about, a silly question?
No, I think it's a really good question, because I think this is why every statistics show there can be lots of reunions, but very low statistics actually make it through to a relationship.
Wow.
And I think there are real difficulties. One of the difficulties is that the adopted baby comes sort of as a baby, in a sense, looking for her mother. I mean, she's obviously mature, friend, all that, but there's something that she's looking for her mother, and as the mother you have to meet that, and that is a challenge, because Susannah no longer looks like the little baby that I gave away.
But
that
if you
is
read the book, can
emotional.
act like one.
But do you know what I
That's
mean?
it.
That's difficult to see
Yeah.
past, and to. But if unless I could meet her on that level, it would not work. So that was challenging emotionally, psychologically, for both of us.
There's the caseworker that looked up and said she's had 500 cases, only about 4 that have gone past a Christmas card.
Yeah.
Wow.
And part of it is because it is a reconnection. So even
Yeah.
though Robin and I never met, I actually met her. I spent a period of time in her womb hearing her voice, listening, to her. And so I got taken away from that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm reconnecting to. So
Yes.
here I was, competent, I thought largely competent 50-year-old woman. Literally all of a sudden that my inner child went nuts.
Yeah.
And the only way for the inner child to settle down and then build an adult relationship was to acknowledge that she was
Yes.
there. And that required Robin had to mother me out of it, and I had to allow myself, they said that the vulnerability, I had to allow myself to be mothered out of it.
What a
Scary.
remarkable story. Yeah, really scary, really brave,
Was
but
quite
fantastic to see you two happy, travelling together,
Yes.
and really just discovering a relationship and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Tedland's come back and said, I am still in their lives and very grateful for that.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, our own experience. Vicky asked, where can I get the book? Do you want to hold that book up for us, Susannah? It's called Heartlines.
Heartlines, the owner, now the mother. Most bookstores, I think. And
Yeah.
Booktopia online.
I think it's available nationally. So all bookstores, all Big W libraries, it'll be available on mass release. Well, it's been I have been travelling right throughout Western Australia, meeting some fantastic talent here, some wonderful writers, mainly writers of fiction, and to have kind of come upon you two has been an absolute joy. To see you again, Susannah McFarlane, has been a joy too. But to hear your story, it's just so delightful. And thank you so much for sharing it. It's not easy coming out with the personal stuff, is it? No.
People say it's brave. I think that's code for crazy sometimes.
Yeah, maybe. Now listen, and then you two are still travelling. Is this the beginning of your trip?
It's the beginning.
Yes.
Well, have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful journey.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thank you.
Thank you, and thanks to all your lovely readers. You see,